Hello, this is LewisLightning, and welcome to Let's Discuss It. It's a little thing I'm going to start up just for me discussing different things, maybe games, maybe, anything really, reviews or something like that, but mostly about gaming and stuff. Anyways, today we are discussing PlayStation All-Stars, Battle Royale. Doing this because I had a lot of trouble with my last upload of Red Dead. Hopefully we'll be getting back into it, maybe do some Resistance soon. But anyways, let's focus on this for today, and then hopefully I'll have it up afterwards. Anyways, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is pretty much PlayStation's Super Smash Bros. Game. So we can safely assume that a lot of it's going to be, kind of a rip-off of Smash Bros. I don't want to say that, but, let's call it what it is. So anyways, this is just my little kind of characters wish list anyways, of who I think should be in it. And hopefully I'll be able to put up like a stage wish list and maybe items, but we'll get to that when we get to it. And I just want to say one more thing. A lot of the footage I use is from other YouTubers, so I'll give credit to them where it's due. Like, none of this is mine, these videos. I just pulled them where I needed them. So, yeah, thank you for all you guys letting me use it. And, let's get on with it. So, the first person we're going to look at is it's Radic. He's already in it. He's confirmed. These first bunch I go through are all confirmed people who are, going to appear in the game that we know of. The date today is July 8th, so just so you know when I'm looking at the roster at. So, Radic was one of the first ones. Actually, he was in the first bunch that were announced when this game was announced itself. Anyways, he's from Killzone 2. It's not a game I've played myself, but I do believe that Killzone deserves some recognition in the PlayStation All-Stars. And I guess as a character goes, he's probably one of the guys that stands out. Any Helghast would have done. I don't really see the difference between a regular Helghast and Radic, but I guess give a guy a name. That's a better idea than just some random soldier, right? So yeah. It looks pretty cool. Plays as a soldier. We've seen his supers level 1, 2, and 3. It'd be interesting. Definitely looks like he's going to be a long-range tactician. So, yeah. Anyways, the next one we have on the list is Fat Princess from Fat Princess. That's a game that I do have downloaded. It. A really fun game. It requires multiplayer, of course. I guess there's other ones out now that don't. But anyways, so she looks like a fun character. She looks to me like she'll play a lot like King DDD, whereas, she does have some combat herself, but a lot of it, what she does is, pull out other characters to do her dirty work and stuff like that. And I believe we've seen all of her supers as well, level 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, she is so far the only female in the bunch. So hopefully we'll see some more. And after that, we have Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper has been around for a while as well. Just recently kind of reappearing with his HD collection and his new game, Sly Thieves in Time, I believe it's called. It's another series I haven't played before, but Sly Cooper is an interesting character. The way he plays, there's nothing for me to really compare it to from Smash Brothers. Yeah, and we've seen his... I know his level 3. I'm guessing we've seen all of them. His 1, 2, and 3. But we've seen his level 3 super for sure. Yeah, he's got some different play style than the other ones with his lack of blocking and stuff like that. So, should be pretty interesting. Another one on the list here, Sweet Tooth. Now, Sweet Tooth was... I have never liked Twisted Metal. I have played it. But I like the choice of Sweet Tooth. He stands out. I can't think of many other guys from the Twisted Metal series that look as unique as him. So, it's a good pick there. What also is interesting is that with him, he's always driven his car, right? He's a murderer. You've seen in the cutscenes him killing people and stuff. But basically, when it came to movesets, they had pretty much fair game to make up Sweet Tooth, which is a cool idea when you put characters in a game. Just, give them whatever they want, right? So, yeah, he looks like he'd be cool. Definitely a power player. And I think we've seen all his supers as well. We also had Drake. He was one of the newer ones. He wasn't one of the initial announcements, which was surprising. But, I think everyone knew he was going to be in the game. With Drake, I like him a lot. And I like that he's in the game. And it's not against him, really. But, we're gonna have a lot of guys, I think, that are just guys holding guns. I mean, Radic already is a guy who's gonna use a lot of guns. Drake's gonna use nothing but guns, and I mean, there's a few more people on the list that could make it in who are gonna be using guns. I just hope it doesn't feel like dry after a while. That we got, okay, here's 6 guys with guns. But anyways, his supers so far is level 1. He throws a propane tank and a grenade, or shoots it, which I like. I like the fact that he's throwing propane tanks. That was something really cool. I didn't even think of it as a super. His level 2 I don't like a whole lot. A pillar appearing out of nowhere and he pushes it over. I mean, I don't think Drake... I mean, he probably does something similar to that in the game, but nothing I can recall. And I mean, I've played them multiple times, all 3 of them. So... yeah, I don't really like that one, especially since this pillar's going to come out of nowhere, and in some levels I think it's going to be really out of place, like even Parappa. But whatever, it's supposed to be fun, so I don't want to look too deep into it. And then his level 3 super being the... everyone turns into like the cursed Spaniards from his first game, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's going to be weird, definitely. Like, yeah. But I like that they went back to that game. They didn't just focus on the newest one, so that was good too. After that, I have Parappa the Rapper. I never played his game. I have some friends who played it a lot, and I mean, I like this character. Like I said, I never played his games, but I like those music games, rhythm games, I guess you call them. So yeah, we have Parappa in there now. Now he again has pretty much an open move set. I mean, they use a lot of his training from his Master Onion dojo level, which is cool. I mean, there's a little bit there that they had to take into account, but I mean, otherwise, a lot of his moves you can just make up. Riding on his skateboard and is one of his supers, and then he pulls those boombox as another. I can't remember all of them, but yeah. Anyways, looks like he'll be fun. One of the cartoony ones. I mean, alongside Sly and Fat Princess. Which is something I'm relieved about. I don't want them all to look, a whole bunch of realistic people. So that was cool. Big Daddy was announced alongside Nathan Drake as well. He's one of the first third-party guys that they announced, or he was the first third-party guy they announced. I'm not a fan of the BioShock series, but at least they picked someone who was, a standout and was going to work well. He definitely looks like he's going to be a tank character as well. Heavy, probably a bit slow. But, he looks cool. He's going to have a cool moveset. Can't argue with that. And he's definitely well known. So that was a good pick if you ask me, even if I don't personally like BioShock. I mean, I don't hate the Big Daddy. But, yeah. Anyways, like I said, good pick. After that, Kratos, who, I mean, for a fighting game, I mean, he's been in a lot. He's been in Mortal Kombat. He's been in Soul Calibur. I mean... he could probably appear in a whole lot more. He might still appear in a whole lot more. So it's pretty obvious that he'd be in Sony's PlayStation All-Stars. I've heard that he plays a lot like he does in his games, which, if that's the case, then I'm going to be pretty good with him to start. It's an obvious choice. I'd like to see more. I can't remember if I've seen all supers or not. I know it's probably known all the supers. I know like his level 3, he gets the armor and he becomes god-sized and all that. So, yeah, another good choice. He's going to be definitely the more violent one, which makes me wonder if he'll have blood in this game. I really doubt it. But, yeah, his violence probably going to be toned down a little bit. If they'll have to get rid of the blood, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, then the 2 newest ones they announced was Toro. I believe that's how you say it. I don't know his full name. He's the PlayStation or Sony's... I'm not sure if it's Sony or PlayStation, but he does the mascot for them in Japan. Honestly, I heard about this character. His name was thrown around a lot before, and I didn't have any problem with him being in. I didn't know him at all or whatever. I thought, well, whatever. He's a mascot in Japan. He's probably popular, so might as well have him in the game. And I mean, as long as they make his moveset creative and stuff, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be in. Probably not going to be he wouldn't be one of my first picks. I'll give you that, but I like having someone I don't know about, something a little bit different. But yeah. And then also announced alongside him was, and I don't know how to say his name either. I believe it's Heihachi Mishima from Tekken. Honestly, I have never played Tekken. Or I might have once played Tekken. I'm not even sure. I'm not interested in Tekken at all. and I could care less about this character being in the game. It's harsh, but I could really care less. I'm going to say I think this is a bad pick, not just because I don't like Tekken or anything, but even from what I know of Tekken, there's characters that I would much rather have in, characters that stand out more, like, you know, I don't even know his name. I think it's Armor King or something like that. The guy with the jaguar head, or I don't even know the other guy's name. The guy who's got like the red eye. Like, these people stand out. And I mean, as far as Tekken goes, it's all hand-to-hand fighting. Unlike, say, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, where, you know, with special abilities, guys can shoot things out of their hands and do all these, you know, supernatural, incredible things. There's not really going to be a whole lot from Tekken, from a Tekken character, I'd say, that is going to be just above punching and kicking. And I mean, if you wanted that, then just buy Tekken. I mean, I want something that's going to stand out, and I don't think this character is. So, yeah, I don't like this choice at all. But anyways, so that's who we know is going to be in the game. These have been confirmed as of today. Would I say it was the 8th? Yes, the 8th of July. So now, this is who else I think I should be on the list. And so far, everyone I've named, I think they should be characters that we start unlocked with. So these are the rest of the characters that I believe should be unlocked to start. So I believe Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank. I think he'd be a great addition. I mean, most people think he will be in regardless. And I believe he should play by himself. Now, I haven't played the Ratchet and Clank series. My friend lives and dies by them. But yeah, I understand his importance to Sony and PlayStation as well. So yeah, he should be in. I think, you know, you could say he's going to be another guy with guns, but at least his guns are different. Like, they're weird guns and all this stuff. I played All for One. That was my only experience with Ratchet and Clank in general. And yeah, so the weapons there are pretty cool. I'm sure they could put together a cool moveset for him. And yeah, he's popular. He looks unique. He's another one of the cartoony characters. And he's going to probably play unique if they throw him in. So I think he definitely deserves a spot. Also, I have Cole McGrath. He's another character that I think should be in there. I think this is an obvious choice. I mean, as the rumors go so far, it appears he's going to be in. His voice actor's kind of given it away with his Twitter or whatever, or at least fueled the rumors about it, as well as someone else, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, so, I mean, Cole, sure, he's one of the characters that's not going to look so unique. He looks just like another regular dude, but he's got powers. He's not just guy with the guns. He's got electrical powers. And, you know, from the second game, you could have ice powers, fire powers. They could just really throw out the whole gamut with him. I mean, he's made for fighting games. I heard he was in another one. I can't remember what it is. But, I mean, he fits this game. He can shoot electricity. He can put grenades. What else did he have? I have played his game. I'm trying to remember what else he has. I mean, his level 3, it could be the Ionic Storm. I read that someone said that he's going to have that in the game. Not saying it's true, but it's a good idea nonetheless. Yeah. And I think that's an obvious choice. Hopefully he'll be announced soon. He's one of the main 4 I want to be in. Like, when I play, the first 4 guys I'm going to pick are going to be Cole, Kratos, Drake, and if he's in, Snake. Snake's another one I want in, but I'll get to him in a bit. But yeah, so I think he should really be in. And I think he's popular enough and everything too. So after that, I think that should have put another third party in. And I'm going to say Isaac from Dead Space, and Dead Space 2, and the upcoming Dead Space 3, I guess. I mean, this one's kind of just out there, but I really think he would work well in a fighting game. And yes, he's another guy with guns, but his guns are at least different. I mean, they're like plasma cutters, stuff like that. I've never played Dead Space, but I mean, his guns aren't just regular guns. He's got a cool look to him, at least. I mean, he might be just like kind of realistically modeled, but he's got a cool look to him. Yeah, I mean, I think he could be another kind of semi-long range fighter, almost like Radic. But depending on what weapons you give him, he could kind of go mid-range, close range, whatever. He could play the whole gambit. So I think he's another one. And of course, you could always bring in the Necromorphs as part of his super, right? After that, I have Solid Snake, and like I said, he's someone else who's rumored to be in one of the 4 that I want to play with in my first match ever. And the guy who did the voice acting for Cole McGrath, He also said that he got to work alongside David Hayter, the voice actor for Snake. So it seems like he'll be in if any of those rumors happen to be true. Now, like, Snake is another one I think it's pretty obvious should be in. He's super popular. I mean, Metal Gear is a big reason a lot of people buy PlayStation consoles. I mean, since after the first Metal Gear, people have been buying the consoles just to play Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear 3, and so forth. So I think, yeah, he should definitely be in. He is a guy with a gun, I agree, but I think just based on his popularity alone, he should be in. He's so well known, I mean, both in America and Japan. So I definitely think he should be in. A lot of people were saying that, he's already been in Smash Brothers and stuff like that. I've heard someone actually say that because he was in Nintendo Smash Brothers that he can't appear in another fighting game, and another fighting game outside of Nintendo. And I think, well, if that was true, then what about like Sonic? He appeared in Smash Brothers, and he's done his own games since. Maybe not fighting games, but obviously they can go back and forth. And Nintendo doesn't own Solid Snake, so it's a third-party thing. They could have him for one game, just like Kratos went into what did I say, Soul Calibur and into Mortal Kombat, but he's also appearing here. So I don't think that's a limiting factor. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about copywriting and stuff like that, but from what I've seen, it's not going to be a limiting factor, and I don't think it's a big issue. So yeah, Solid Snake, another guy who I think should be in, and like I said, a starter. These are still guys that I think should be starters that are unlocked to begin with. So after Snake, I have Wander from Shadow of the Colossus. Basically, I mean, I see there's a lot of suggestions for guys from any of the Trico games, Eco, Shadow of the Colossus, and the upcoming Last Guardian. But I mean, out of those three games, Eco, I haven't played it, but he doesn't seem to really, use a whole lot of weapons. I think he's got like a stick or a sword, and that's really all I've seen. The kid from Last Guardian doesn't have a name yet, but I mean, he looks too young to be a fighter, and I'm not sure if he's going to be doing any combat, so I wouldn't suggest him either. Wander is the only one who seems like he'd be of age and of skill to fight. So yeah, I'm going to say Wander out of all that. I think really, if you want to compare this to Smash Brothers, he would fit the Link character model. I mean, he's going to use sword, bow and arrow. He's not going to have the bombs, but I mean, you could have all that. And I think everyone wants to see a Colossus in one of the stages. It'd be awesome. I don't know how they'd work it in. I'm just saying that a stage that has a crossover with Shadow of the Colossus would be great. And I mean, his supers as well could use a Colossus, if maybe, and that'd be awesome. Like, just thinking out loud here, like one of his supers, maybe level 1 or level 2, could be him holding his sword up to the light, like he did in the game, and using it to blind an enemy. And while they're blinded, he could, bash them really hard, and that would be an instant kill for anyone that gets caught in it. That's just an idea. Like I said, I think Wander should be in, and I think he should also be a a character we start with from the beginning, unlocked. After him, I have a Chimera. Now, I don't really care if it's just like a what type. It could be Steelhead, could be your hybrid, just a Chimera in general. I mean, you could also perhaps say, I guess a lot of people were expecting maybe Hale or even Joseph Capelli. I don't really like those, either of them. Personally, I would even rather take James Grayson from the PSP game Resistance Retribution over those two. Just that Capelli, he doesn't really stand out, even like in the second game that he appeared in to begin with, or in Resistance 3. Resistance 3, I just hate his look and everything. But yeah, either way, they're going to be guys with guns. At least if it's Resistance, it's an alien with a gun, and he looks cool. And the guns in Resistance, they're all going to be pretty sweet, right? I mean, they could use the bullseye. They could use the auger. The auger's one I really hope would appear. Splicer. There's so many great guns they could put in and use as supers of different degree. Anyways, after that, I have Sackboy from Little Big Planet. Now, I mean, people are saying, oh, well, Sackboy's too small. He couldn't fight. And we've already seen they have the, I think it's called Dreamscape level, which is a combination between the Buzz world and Little Big Planet's level creator. So if the characters are fighting there, and they're not huge, you're not stepping on this stuff, they're about the same size Sackboy would be, why can't Sackboy play in the game? I mean, obviously they're just kind of fluctuating with size just to fit the levels. They're not taking it seriously, like, oh, Snake's this small, or, you know, I shouldn't say Snake. Parappa's in Dreamscape, so he must be 3 inches tall. Well, it doesn't make sense either. So I don't think that's going to really have anything to do with it. I think Sackboy should be in. I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to think of, you know, fighting moves for him, just this general fighting moves. But, you know, I think they could do a lot with the supers and stuff. Use different elements from Little Big Planet. Like, I like to see the Paintinator come in. Yeah, there's lots of stuff they could really do with him, I think. Anyways, after that, I have Jack and Daxter. Now, if they were in, I'd want them to be in together as like a pair or duel or whatever you want to call it. I don't like. I mean, Jack obviously can fight by himself, but I don't see Daxter doing that. I don't think he could fight by himself. So they should work as a pair, I think. And this is another series that I haven't played before. But yeah, I really think that they should put him in. I can't really comment on what the supers and stuff should be. I mean, they're both expected to be in. I mean, I shouldn't say both, but at least Jack is expected to be in, and I think they should be in. A lot of people know them; they're really popular. It's obvious by how many people are suggesting them. So yeah, they can fit, and I'd be glad to see them as well. Now, the last guy I think that should be an unlocked character to start is Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Now, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. I have played a couple, and I just did not like them. I have 8 and 10, I believe. I've never finished them. I just got so frustrated and bored with them, I quit. So, yeah, not a fan of Final Fantasy, but I do understand the significance behind characters like Cloud. And, I mean, there's so many people suggesting this, and Final Fantasy, especially 7, has such a strong following that I think they'd almost have to put him in. I don't know his moves that well since I've never played it, but obviously he's going to have a moveset that they can pull a lot of stuff from for their supers, just regular moves and everything. So Cloud fits easy. And like I said, that's the last one I have. Now, these next few are the ones that I believe should be unlockables. Now, for unlockables, I kind of thought of it the same way that whatchamacallit, Smash Brothers did it, where I tried to pull guys from the same series and add them as unlockables. Maybe not all of them, but some of them. So, you know, someone from Metal Gear Solid series, someone from Parappa series, you know, pulling guys that we already know about to put in. Like, I think that's a good idea. There's also, like I said, there's going to be some that just randoms that I thought would be a cool idea. So anyways, we'll just get into that. Spyro the Dragon, never played the game, but I mean, he's back now with his Skylanders games. I mean, I guess he was never really gone, but he's definitely making more of a mark now on his return with Skylanders. I mean, he's going to have a cool moveset. He'd be an animal, unlike the other characters, walking around on all fours. Controls would be different for him. And I think that'd be great. I mean, have some variation in what there is, not just guys who are just walking around on 2 legs, shooting stuff all the time. How about a little animal dude? So yeah, that's one that I think should be in. Another one, this is the one from Parappa, Jammerlami. I've never played her game either, but it was kind of like this, not the sequel, but a spin-off of Parappa the Rapper. She was, it's another rhythm-based game, but she played her guitar. And, yeah, I think they could put her in, and she could just use her guitar. I mean, Parappa kind of raps, and he's going to fight because he's got that fighting training, or so the dojo training from Master Onion. But Jammerlami could just use her guitar, maybe play riffs and stuff like that, or whatever, just maybe even bash people with it. But, so yeah, so I think she would fit pretty well as an unlockable. Like, maybe if you beat the game with Parappa, then you get Jammerlami is unlockable. And I think these unlockables, all of them, you should have to, you know, fight them to earn them, just like in Smash Brothers. Like, you can unlock them, then you have to fight them and beat them. Anyways, so after Jammerlami, I think Clank from Ratchet and Clank. Like I said, I thought Ratchet should fight separately, and I think Clank should fight separately. They've both done it before, and even in their games, I believe they do. At least that's what my friend tells me. I'm sure Clank probably has a pretty good move set of his own. I've never played it, so I couldn't tell you. I've just played All for One. But I mean, yeah, I think Ratchet should be in, Clank should be in, because I mean their series is about both of them, and it's a series that's popular, so both of them should be in. Anyways, after that, I have Raiden from Metal Gear Solid. Now, this is the one that I'm actually, I'm a Metal Gear fan, maybe not a super fan, but I do like the series. With Raiden, like, he's going to be different. I mean, everyone else I could have picked from there, Revolver Ocelot, Liquid Snake. I mean, there's some guys, like maybe Psycho Mantis, I could have said, that aren't gun-toting guys, but for the majority of them, they're going to be guys just with guns. Raiden, on the other hand, especially as you've seen from his upcoming game, he's going to be using a sword. He's like he's kind of like a cyborg. I don't know what you'd call it. But anyways, he's enhanced. And yeah, his moveset would be vastly different from anyone else that could be in there from Metal Gear Solid series. So I think he should definitely be in. He'd be another sword fighter. I think you should really play up the agility on him. And I mean, from some of the stuff you can see he does in Metal Gear Solid 4, throwing around these geckos and stuff, he's going to be a powerful, fluid, agile character if he's in the game. And I think that would be a really sweet idea. The next one I have, and this is also a character from Metal Gear Solid, and it's a little bit of a personal favorite, and maybe this is the one that I shouldn't have said to put in, the people aren't going to take seriously, but regardless, I'm going to say the boss. Not Big Boss, but the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3, the chick. I mean, I thought she was just awesome. I mean, with the Big Boss, he could be in the game just as an alternate attire. The boss, I mean, she couldn't be. I mean, I don't think they'd go that far to change his model to make it into the boss. But, I mean, yes, she is someone who's just wielding a gun, or a couple of guns, but I think they could change it up enough that it would feel different than just playing as Snake. But yeah, like I said, it's a personal choice. I would like to see her in. I think she'd be awesome. And, I mean, she was incredibly, well, at least for Metal Gear Solid 3, she's one of the most popular new characters they threw in. So yeah, I'd love to see the boss in. That's it for my Metal Gear Solid ones, by the way. I'm not going to throw in, I mean, Ocelot would be cool, Liquid would be cool, Psycho Mantis would be cool. I could just keep going on and on with all the cool characters that they have in this series. But I think just going to keep to the stable ones. Ones that people really like, at least, are the ones that stand out the most. And I think that's good enough. Just the two. Anyways, after that, I think they should have Noriko as another unlockable. Now, I know a lot of people just assume she's going to be in regardless. And maybe if they don't announce her, people will be like, oh my god, they didn't put in Noriko. I thought for sure she'd be in. But maybe she's in an unlockable. I don't expect them to announce everything you can get in the game. So these unlockable characters are probably not going to hear about if they are in. So even if I don't hear everything, I'm still going to hope for some of these guys to be in. So Noriko, I mean, Heavenly Sword maybe didn't sell so well, didn't become a smash hit or anything like that. But it's a very well-known character. Most people who've got a PlayStation from the get-go had a Heavenly Sword. I know my friend did, and that's the reason I bought it. And it's an awesome game. It's a God of War ripoff in the combat, pretty much. But I mean, I love God of War's combat, and I mean, she's going to play a lot like Kratos, I imagine, if she was in, and that's not going to be really a bad thing. Plus, she's like another strong female character. I mean, Fat Princess isn't that strong as a female character. In her game, she's always being saved. I mean, here she's always obviously going to be fighting, but in her game itself, she's always being saved. Noriko, on the other hand, in her game is the one doing all the fighting and stuff. So yeah, she's going to be definitely one of the stronger characters if they throw her in. And her moveset, that'd be a little bit difficult. I can only think of, I mean, she'd be definitely sword slashing and stuff and like that. But as far as her super goes, I'm having a hard time thinking of a level 1 or 2. Level 3, she could take on her godlike form from the end of the game. Becoming a lot more white. Maybe her powers become stronger. It's not the greatest, but I mean, her moveset doesn't really change a whole lot. I really would like to say something about throwing. I loved in that game throwing items and using the tilt controls to control its trajectory, but I think that's something that's not going to happen in Battle Royale. But yeah, regardless, I think she should be in. The next one I have is Sir Dan Fortescue. I think I said that right. From the Medieval series. Now, I've never played the Medieval series, but I mean, this guy, he's got a wicked awesome look. I mean, he's going to be so different from the other ones. I don't know really how his combat's going to go, but I mean, I've seen some gameplay from him where he runs around with his arm ripped off, and I mean, they play up stuff like that. I don't know what else he has in the moveset, but if you play up stuff like that, it's going to be a unique moveset. Character ripping off his arms, throwing bones, and all that stuff. That'd be cool. I mean, I've known this character, or I know of this character, I should say. So I think, yeah, definitely he could be in, and I'd like to see him in anyways as an unlockable. I think he'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't, unlike a lot of these guys that are in the game. I mean, aside from Parappa, I guess most of them have had, you know, continuing series or have come back. I mean, you know, Twisted Metal recently came back, and what was the other? Jack. I mean, he hasn't really. He's been in the Heroes on the Move, so he didn't really go away either. This would probably be one of the more far-fetched ones, I guess, Sir Dan. But still, I think it'd be cool for him to be in. After that, I have Kuro. I believe I said that right. I'm not sure. He's the other Sony PlayStation mascot alongside Toro. I think it'd be cool to have him in. And if you have Toro, might as well throw in Turo. Like maybe if you have Toro, might as well throw in Kuro. I hope I'm saying these right. But yeah, maybe if you beat the game with one, you unlock the other. Just, you know, try. Hopefully they vary the movesets. I don't want to feel like I'm playing as the same character. But I mean, have them both in there. Just different movesets is all. And finally, for my last unlockable, and this would bring my total character list, at least on my wish list, up to 28, is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Now, like I said, people just love the crap out of that game. I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, not a huge one anyways. Actually, not really at all. But I mean, if you have Cloud, it seems like you should also have Sephiroth. Everyone seems to always tie those two together. Who was the better person, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you have Cloud, you should have Sephiroth. And I mean, I'm sure he can still have a varied move set compared to Cloud. They're not going to play the same, hopefully. Anyways, so that's everyone I think should be in the game. I mean, there's a lot more options, and I'm going to go through a couple of those right now. I don't want to just name off everyone because I could literally be here all day with all the guys that I've heard of, all the guys that I've thought of myself. So just go through a quick few. Some of the more popular ones, or at least, and some of my own favorites, but some of the more popular ones and maybe more likely ones. And I should also say I think they're all actually third-party characters. But regardless. Now, Dante from Devil May Cry. I played one Devil May Cry. I don't like it. But, I mean, Dante is a popular character. He's, you know, been around for a while. Now, whether they pick the new one from the upcoming Devil May Cry series with a different look or the guys from the old one, I don't really care. I'd prefer the new one, I guess, just slightly, just because, you know, I've seen the other one. The other one's appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm not sure if he's in all of them or not, but at least this third one he's appeared in. So I think we know what to expect from him. I'd like to see from the new one what they could do with the moveset and stuff. Then Abe from Abe's Oddworld. I think that's what it was called. I played it once. I mean, it's an interesting idea, but after playing it, I don't see how they could really make a moveset for him. He's not really a big fighter. He farts. I can't remember much else he does. I remember playing that game, and it was really about the environment, like trying to work through it that way. So, yeah, I'd like to see him, but I don't think it could really work. Rayman, which I would really like to see. I think he'd be cool. I just am hesitant to say, you know, let's put him in, just for the fact that, you know, with the Rayman Legends coming out, and they made the special Wii kind of part to the game where you could use the controller. Seems like they're more in close with Nintendo than with Sony. So I'm hesitant to say that they're going to come in. Like, seems like the way they're picking these characters, like say for Big Daddy for instance, Sony and the company that does BioShock, I don't know who they are. They have had that agreement that they would make a Vita game or maybe some special content for the upcoming BioShock Infinite. But regardless, you know, they had some kind of deal going on there, and now Big Daddy appears in All Stars. So it seems like these the characters we're going to see in might have something to do with, being in good with Sony. And that's why I think Rayman might not be in, even though I would want him in, just because they don't have anything really sticking them out right now. They're not making deals with Sony right now to kind of buy their way in, or vice versa, for Sony making deals with them to buy in Rayman to their game. Anyways, after that, this is a personal one, but I think it would, just based on moveset and looks, it would work really well. But I'd like to see Hawk from Dragon Age 2. I know a lot of people hate that game, and they did not like it. But I think Hawk himself, if you go with the character model they gave you to start with, pretty cool character, like looks-wise. And considering you can pick, to play as a mage, a rogue, or a warrior, it could make a moveset combining all three elements for this game, right? And then that way, his moveset would be so varied. You could have him using magic, you could have him using bow and arrows, you could have him using just a big sword or whatever. And I think that would be super awesome. I really doubt he'll be in. That's a personal one that I think would be awesome to have in, but I didn't include him on my list. This is just, some ideas like to throw around. The next one I have is Finn from Sorcery. I guess he's the one on this list that isn't a third party. But yeah, he's from Sorcery, and he was the Sorcerer's Apprentice in that game. I don't know how well it did. I haven't really been following it. It was really fun. I played it myself, and I liked it a lot. But yeah, hopefully he's going to get quite a bit of following, and hopefully his game did well so that they make a sequel, because I really liked it. But I think he should be in just because, he's going to use magic. He's not going to have guns. He's not going to have knives or swords. He's going to have magic. So his moveset's going to feel so much different from a lot of the characters here. And for his finisher, he could use the Nightmare Power or whatever it was called to, level 3 or level 1 or whatever. So I think he could have a really bold moveset. The only problem with him is that he's not that popular as far as I've seen. A lot of people kind of overlook this game. Maybe Sony didn't market it enough, but I don't think he's going to be in. And it's a shame. Maybe he'll be in if they ever make a sequel, or maybe he'll be his DLC or something. But it's someone I think that would have a good chance. Would be a good character, I should say, but he doesn't have a good chance. That's what I mean. The next one, this one's been thrown around a lot, which is kind of weird, is Batman from the Arkham Asylum, Arkham City games. Yeah, it'd be cool. I'm going to say I love this idea. I just don't think he'll be in. Just doesn't seem like Sony's going to reach out for that one. Although what I said before about, companies that are in good with Sony, as far as the Rocksteady goes, they did have like the Joker DLC for PlayStation. I'm not sure if they had anything for Arkham City or not that was exclusive. But yeah, maybe they do have a little bit of relationship. I'm not sure, but I just don't see it happening. It'd be cool. I'm not going to complain if it happens, because I want it to happen, but I just don't see it happening. The other thing with it is that Rocksteady doesn't own Batman, so if Sony wanted it, they'd have to go probably through 3 different channels. They'd have to get, actually 3 or 4. They'd have to first get, Warner Brothers that owns DC to also go with it, probably. I don't think Warner Brothers, well, I don't know how the shots are called, but maybe one or both DC and Warner Brothers. And then if they want to use Batman from like his character model and likeness from Rocksteady, they might have to go with Rocksteady as well, in which case they'd need to Rocksteady's approval. So it's a bunch of hoops they'd have to jump through, and I'm not going to say they couldn't, I'm just saying it's unlikely. And this is another one that I thought would be cool, and I've seen it said a couple times, so I'm not the only one, but John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, he's the guy with the gun, sure, and that's why I didn't really put him in. His guns would be old school, yeah, and having Red Eye as a super would be kind of cool as well. But I just don't think he'll be in. Cool idea, and definitely better than a lot of the other Rockstar characters, like Niko Bellic from GTA 4. Anyone from GTA, I don't think they're going to really stand out as a character, and they just be some random guy with a gun. At least with John Marston, he's like a cowboy. He looks like a cowboy, talks like a cowboy, has a cowboy feel and everything. So, yeah. The next one I have, and this is probably just a little bit more with me again, is Jackie Estacado. I own The Darkness and The Darkness 2. think it's a pretty sweet game. It's not an A-class game by any means, but yeah, Jackie Estacado, I mean, he uses guns, but he could also use his darkness powers, which would really open up the possibilities for him in combat, both with supers and just regular fighting. So that's someone I would like to see in if they, if they could. Not saying he will be in. Not again. These are just the random ones I thought about. Yeah, I thought you'd have a cool move set, and depending, I mean, they could do with the cells shaded look, or they could do the old school look. And either way, I think it'd be cool. But yeah, that's just an idea. Another third party. Actually, another one that's from a third party that I was thinking about is Adam Jensen from Deus Ex. This one hasn't. I've seen it said like once or twice, and really the only reason I would have picked him, because he does use guns a lot too, but the only reason I really picked him is because of his augmentations. I mean, you could just have him use so many different things because he's augmented that way. You could use his what was it called? I can't remember what it was called. His special move that he used, where he shot all those little explosive pellets out or whatever. That was a sweet move. He's got like those blades in his arms. Like, he has so many variations of what he could do. They could easily make a move set that's way more diverse than just a guy with a gun. But Deus Ex, I think it did well. I'm not sure. Again, I don't check up stats on all these games, but I think it did well. But I don't think it did well enough and made Jensen popular enough to make Sony go after him for this game. And the last one I have, and this one's another third party, and this one, it's got some hope, but lately I would say maybe that hope is faded, is Axel from Guitar Hero. The Guitar Hero series started on PlayStation, so that's where I get the hope from. I mean, they were there, they started, they were really successful for a while. Now I think the sales have dropped huge, and yeah, maybe they're not as popular as they once were. But I think Axel, I've seen John and Napalm named, but I think Axel is like the mascot for the Guitar Hero series. So I think he should be the guy that gets in. And his moves could be all music based. He could use his guitar as a weapon or just play. There's tons of things they could do with him. I don't think he's likely to be in, but that was just another idea. So yeah, that's it for this, anyways. Maybe I'll make another one soon with character or with level and item ideas. But for now, this is where I'm gonna leave it at. Just leave a comment if you want. I'd like to see what you think of my ideas and my list. I'd also like to see if you have any ideas of your own. And yeah, I'll see you later.